Good afternoon. We are here for the next segment of our interviews with Ray Zinn, who is the founder of Micrel. Hello, Ray. How are you?
Hi, very good. Thank you, Rich, for asking.
My pleasure.
Say not really because I got a cold, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay.
So that just proves we're in real time here.
That's right.
Okay. So for this segment, let's talk about things that derail entrepreneurs. So what are some of the classic mistakes that somebody who wants to start a business makes? I mean, these are all obviously very smart people. I mean, I shouldn't say obviously, but in most cases you would think that these are really smart people. Why do they sometimes go down the wrong path? And what is the wrong path? And what is the right path?
Well, I kind of liken it to a medical doctor that thinks because he has a doctor's degree or an MD that he can go out and build a house. And that's just false thinking. Education doesn't necessarily mean that you're capable of doing anything or everything. And so, you really have to understand what your limitations are. And technical people tend to think more technical and more focused on the technical aspect of their business and not on the business side of it. And so I liken again to that doctor who thinks just because he's got this doctor's degree that he can build a house. And these engineers that do these fantastic products think that just because they've done that they can now run a company, and that's just not the case.
Okay, but now I know a guy who was a salesperson for a manufacturing company, and he had this great idea for a wafer scale manufacturing, and he didn't know anything about running a company. How did he do it?
You mean a wafer stepper?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I did go ahead and get my master's in business, so it wasn't that I didn't understand the four classes that I think are important for an entrepreneur to understand is economics, business law, financial and managerial accounting, and accounting itself. So those are the four basic courses that you need. And I know they don't teach you that in medical school, so or even in engineering school. And those are the four basic classes. If you don't have those four basic classes, it's unlikely you're going to understand what's happening to your business.
Okay. I mean, it sounds pretty simple. Are you oversimplifying there?
No, I'm not. I'm saying it honestly that if you look at your background and you don't have those core courses that you've studied, again, repeating economics, accounting, financial and managerial accounting, and business law, if you don't have those four core courses under your belt and you understand those courses, I would not even attempt to run a company.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so let's take this to the next level. One of the issues that I know you've pointed out in the book is the idea of having enough information. And I know that people very often get caught up between not understanding when they don't have enough information, they have enough information, or they have way too much information. How do you make that determination to know that what you have right now is really what you need? Okay,
so, we talk about the intuitive nature that we have, or our gut. So you have to have that gut knowledge. And so if you have that ability, that intuitive ability, you need, half the information that a person who is not intuitive or doesn't have that gut knowledge would need. So, if you can get by with less information, you can make a decision quicker and more effectively than if you don't have that background and you don't have that gut knowledge. You're going to need a lot more information, a lot more time spent trying to understand what's going on. And so, then you get paralysis by analysis, as they say.
But that gut feel does not work when you're presenting a business plan to a potential investor. I mean, unless you have a proven track record, they're going to look at you and they say, "I don't know, why would I trust your instincts?"
Depends upon how they interview you and you present yourself. So they can tell, and I can tell, if a person really understands what he's doing by looking at the way he's presenting his case. If all of the information that he's presenting is kind of general, meaning that you can get it off the web as you would, then I suspect that he's really not dug into really what's pertinent to his particular market. So I look at the source of his information and how he's presenting it, and that gives me some sense as to his real understanding of it.
Okay. As somebody who might be in the shoes of a potential investor, how much skin does the person who's coming to you have to put in the game for themselves?
Yeah. I think if you don't have any skin in it, then you don't have any place in it. So I'd like as much skin as they can afford, and if that means 50 to 60%, all the better. That means at least they will own the majority of the business. If they don't have any skin in it, I won't even talk to them. So again, depends upon the situation and the size of the investment that's needed. So if $100,000 is needed, and then they ought to have at least 50, which means half of it. If $10 million is required, I know they're not going to be able to have $5 million of that. So they should have at least $100,000 or a couple $100,000 of that. So it depends upon the size of the deal, but certainly they ought to have some skin in the game.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's going to do it for this week's segment. That was some really interesting information, and I think we'll pick up on a similar topic as we move down the road. So that was Ray Zinn. He is the founder of Micrel, and he's also the author of the book Tough Things First. Thank you, Ray. Have a great day. I hope you feel better.
Well, thank you, and I hope you do too. I guess we both suffer from the same ailment.
That is correct, unfortunately.